Good morning, everyone, and welcome in. My name is Yolanda Roos, and I literally have just gotten up, made my cup of tea, so we're going to start the day. It's very peaceful and quiet in the house, so I figured this was a great opportunity to get on and say hello. There's an awful lot of stuff going on. We are building up to the eclipse coming up on the 21st. It is a partial solar eclipse. We have the remembrance of 9/11. We've had a shooting of a person in the United States. In my area, we have a person that murdered somebody running loose. We have a lot of things transpiring, growing, people just wanting to understand what's going on. So I just think there's a lot happening. I'm not sure what's happening in other countries, totally. I'm just trying to stay focused on life and keeping going. We even locked our doors last night. I'm not one to really lock my doors too much, but not knowing the state that everybody's in, it seems like a very volatile time. It seems like things are getting stirred up, and in some cases stirring up to a point that is dangerous. So I'm hoping that everybody is getting the help they need, loving each other as much as possible, accepting people where they're at, what they're doing. I don't do politics, but I am not, and I'm going to say this, it's not to get anybody upset. I don't believe anybody should die for what they believe in, unless you are hurting somebody specifically. You have every right to believe what you want. This channel has been speaking about this a lot. This is a channel of growing, facilitated life, well-being, and my name is Yolanda Roos, and I'm the host of this channel. So the messages that we put out are timeless messages, but when they're being put out, they do pertain to what's happening, and they will affect you because I read energy. The program that I designed through this is that when the videos were done, they didn't just fall off. They would be able to be used at a later time through your spirit guides and angels, confirmation, things of that nature. So we're going to see what they have to say today, what's going to be affecting us and being in our life. Sometimes it's your message, sometimes it's not. It is simply energy that could be present around you for you to be aware of. There are two collectives. One that's giving, one that's receiving generally. So you might not be in the circle, but in a roundabout way, like I said, it's energy, it flows. It's not exact for everybody. You could be getting into it, going into it, or you've already experienced it. So take it as it resonates. Don't make it fit. If it's not a part of your life, that's fine. Just consider the things that are coming out, because I asked the universe to give me a message for the collective. So if you're watching it later, it's just a message that you want to be aware of. Something that you might not see. And it's meant for your betterment. I want people to find abundance and fullness of life. That's why when I talk about on my channel being true and genuine to who you are, you will find happiness. I don't believe anybody should be killed for what they believe is correct. We live our lives to be the best version of ourselves, that if we go to a heaven, an ether, back to the collective, a higher power, I can believe what I believe, but in an essence of life, we believe there's something bigger than us. Not everybody believes in a heaven and an earth, and I'm not sure what I totally think about heaven and earth. I just feel that the life you live here is a purpose to grow you, teach you, expand your horizons, and to learn compassion, to learn humility, to learn to love through adversity, to become a bigger, brighter, and brighter in the sense of, you don't have to be like, oh, white light and butterflies. No, but it's about being illuminated. Light, love and light to me is being of a God essence, that you're going to be unconditionally loving of people, accepting, trying to do something better, trying to forgive, trying to be a better version of yourself. And light is not always like you're going to glow and be perfect all the time. It's going to be about illumination, about understanding, about bringing light to a subject, about bringing all the aspects that everybody sometimes doesn't see, being honest about how you feel without being rude or like pretentious and in people's face. I think you can live your truth, be your truth without shoving it down somebody's face. Now, in this situation with this man that has been killed and sniped, the man that shot him was angry because he didn't agree with what the man was living. But the difference is, and this is what I'm trying to help people to grow with on my channel, nobody has to agree with you, get on the wagon with you, be in your life and accept you to continue to live the way you want to live. It doesn't matter if people agree with you, or not everybody's going to agree with you. Not everybody's going to jump on. You cannot convince everybody that what you're doing is right, wrong, whatever. It doesn't matter. You have to be authentic. So I feel like this is a message out there, and it's a neutral message. It's not to stir things up. It's to make people realize when you are in this world, you do not have to make somebody come alongside of you and believe what you believe or need validation for somebody else to live the life that is best for you. Stop trying to get validation for other people. If you are truly living an authentic life and you feel that you are supposed to be there and that's what you're supposed to do, you will not need other people's approval to live the life that you want to live. It's because you have fear or you want people to accept you. You can't have acceptance when you live an authentic life. You can't give a crap about that. And this is a message for a good chunk of the world. You don't need anybody's approval to be who you are. You don't need anybody's approval to be gay, straight, Chinese. You like to do this. You believe in abortion. You don't believe in abortion. You believe in this. Who gives a crap? You believe what you believe. You live your life. And this is the adage, worry more about your own life than other people's life. In a world where we all have free choice, we all have variety, we all have our own free will to choose what we want, not everybody's going to agree with you. And that's okay. You're okay. Live your life. If somebody's that against it, you don't need that person. They're going to move on. Even if it's a parent, a relative, somebody, if they love you, they will come around, or they will accept you, or they will not be mean to you. They might not, but you know what? Then you don't need them in your life. And I don't care if a mom and dad is here. When your kid is a certain thing and you don't agree, you can say, I don't agree with your life, but I love you more than anything in the world, and I want you still in my life. Let's not talk about this, or just give me time to adjust to it. That's a rational thing. Mom doesn't have to say, oh yeah, it's okay. She might avidly believe that what they're doing is wrong, or she doesn't agree with it, or she thinks the kid's crazy. I've had it in my life. But loving somebody is different than what somebody does. And if they are not hurting anybody and they are not doing something to hurt somebody, we need to be more open and loving as a society, instead of being so offended by everything. You can be offended, but nobody is, if somebody just says, oh, I don't believe in that, okay, that's their choice. Don't make it a big deal. If they don't agree with you, who cares? You are an individual. You live your life the way you want. I've been through it in some different ways. I am raised in the Baptist church, and I chose, because I felt led to read cards and to help people in a different spectrum than what the church thinks is the right way, okay? But my friends that love me, my mother did not agree with it. She thought I was going down the wrong path and the devil was going to take me and blah, 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 blah. Okay. There was none of that intent. I am a person that wants to heal people. And I went in deep prayer, deep understanding, to make sure that the actions that I was doing was not hurting anybody and was going to be okay with the Creator. I believe it. I believe there's God, a higher God. I believe there's a lower God that's here. But that's my belief. Who cares if you agree with me? I don't care. This is what I believe. That's the type of approach that you need to be doing in your life, because you're not going to make everybody come alongside you. You're not going to make everybody agree with you. But the humane thing is that we accept people where they are. If they want help or they want your opinion, then give it to them. If they don't want your opinion, you've already shoved it down their face 47 times, let it be. Because they don't agree with you. They walk a different walk than you. So that's what I'm learning, is that I chose to read cards. I was chose to help people that need help in fight or flight. This is my mission. If I listened to what everybody else said, I would not be fulfilling my mission. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. Whether you agree with me or you don't, you think I'm a kook, whatever, I don't care. I do this channel because this is what I want to give to the world. And whoever comes on here and listens to it and chooses to be a part of it, I'm blessed. If I help one person a day to get through the trials and tribulations, I've succeeded. I want to help people. I want people to love each other. I want people to understand that we are all different, diverse creatures that can all live together with different beliefs, different things, and stop hurting each other. That's the thing. Stop hurting each other. I don't care what color you are, what race you are, male, female, you know, you think you're a dog, you think you're, I don't care. I'm going to treat you with love, with respect. I don't have to understand you. I don't have to believe what you believe, but I can still love you as a human on this earth, walking with me in society. We all need to stop this judgment thing. I'm sorry, and you can tune off and go to a different channel, but nobody's got it all right, okay? Even me. Nobody has everything right. We are not perfect. We are human beings learning through experience. So I could believe something now and experience something in a week or two and be like, wow, I was looking at it this way, but I really don't feel like that. I feel like it's different now, because we are having the ability to change, to see perspectives. So the person that's in your life that might be bashing you or thinking you're crazy or doesn't agree with your walk or whatever, then be open to how they feel and respect it, and then tell them, you need to be open to my perspective. This is how I feel. If you want to have a logical and ethical conversation, not yelling, not telling somebody they're right or wrong, like explaining, this is why I feel this way. Okay, and then being able to listen to the other person, this is why I feel this way. You might not change totally, but you might understand why somebody is or acts or does or believes the way they believe. And you know what? You might learn something, both of you. You know, that's what soulmates are. Soulmates come into your life to make you aware of things that you need to learn or grow on. There are things that we have to go through. There are stupid things that we do that we learn through. So don't hate somebody forever if they were stupid, or if you feel that they were, you know, wrong to you, and then they come around and say, listen, I was wrong. Forgive them and say, that's great. I'm so glad that you can come in next to me. And I know you don't always agree with things, but thank you for respecting me. Thank you for giving me the respect I deserve, just like I want to respect you. And I think what's happened is when we have a world that has the ability to have free speech or free thought, we want to think that because we are thinking it, that it's correct, that this is the only way. If I believe it, this is what it has to be. And that's not true. We all need to believe what we feel is right, because when we go back to the ethers, or we go back to God, or even if we end, what did we do? We're not going to be judged on what other people did. We're going to be, even other humans, we are going to be judged by what we did, how we treated people, how we responded, what we left behind, what people said about you. Not that you need to be acting a certain way so people talk good about you, but they could say, oh yeah, she stood for this, or oh, she was a good person. Yeah, she didn't believe this, but she was never mean to anybody. That's what my goal is, that when I stand before my Creator, He says, you know, you did screw up some stuff, but your heart, your intention was to be a better person. And I feel that I try. I'm not going to succeed. I don't think anybody's going to get it all perfect. But if you're growing and you're trying to become a better person, you're trying to see perspectives, you're trying to be good to people, you're trying to be good to yourself, you're trying to heal yourself, you're trying not to be what everybody wants you to be, you're being genuine and true to yourself, living your own life, your own path that is best for you. You will know what your path is. Now, you don't have to have everybody's approval or agreement. So I feel like, I don't mean to ramble. I just want you to all to know when you see this video that you need to be authentic to your life and leave everybody else alone. Be understanding that we all come to things at a different rate. We all grow at a different rate. We all potty train at a different rate. We all understand things at a different rate. And there's going to be people that go through life and they won't understand it. And it's okay. Maybe that's not what they came here to learn. Maybe their contract was to do something else. And sometimes there are going to be people out there that act a certain way and you're going to be like, ooh, I don't want to act like that. Is that? And sometimes we see ourselves like, oh, is that what is that how I act? Or is that what I sound like? I've had it happen to me from my younger versions, even, a year or two ago, like, ooh, did I sound like that? And then I'd be like, oh God, I'm sorry. Or, even just changing. I don't think that there's this thing you have to say confession. You need to understand what you're doing and turn from it. I don't think it's like you're gonna go to hell if you don't confess all your sins or go to a preacher or whatever. Now, this is my opinion. Take it or leave it. I just feel like God wants you to understand when you're doing something that's not good and turn from it and change and say, oh, or help me not to do this. I feel this is a tendency, or I feel like I look at things. Help me to be a better person. Help me to see things more clearly. Help me not to judge. I prayed for help me not to judge, because when I see people hurting people, I get upset. I don't like people getting hurt. I don't like mean people. I don't like very closed mind people. I can deal with everybody, but I want everybody to be happy, to be abundant, to have love, to understand that we're all different. We are not the same. Thank goodness we are not the same. That's what makes the diversity and the spark of life. If we were all the same, then we'd just be a bunch of robots. Yuck, we don't want that. All right, so we're going to get into the cards. Sorry about that rant, but somebody needed to hear it. I don't know. I just know that we need to focus on our own walk, our love, and our mission that we came here to do. We have to survive. We have to work. We have to grow. We have our families and stuff like that. I think we need to focus on some things that will grow us, not bring us down on timelines. Remember, we talked about those timelines. There are higher timelines and lower timelines. They're not about going to a different reality. They're about moving yourself to a different perspective through the choices and the way you perceive and grow in the world. So if you're going to 5D or you're moving up, it's because you're making choices that are elevating you. They're not hindering you. They're not blocking you. They're not bringing you to a lower thing. And I believe that when you are making choices that lead you towards your purpose and the mission you came, you're going to also ascend, because then you're going into alignment where you're supposed to be. So you are realigning with where you're supposed to be energetically, so you can pull in and give yourself an advantage and a life that maybe is more fulfilling to what you want, need, manifest, think on, and you might find more happiness. And I know that I want abundance and happiness for everybody, but the reality is you're not all gonna get it. Sorry. It's a part of life. It's sometimes you're gonna have a good life, sometimes you're not gonna have a good life, but it's going to go in waves. Sometimes life's going to be kind of annoying, and sometimes you're going to be like, wow, this is so great, but don't become too complacent, because it might not stay that way. We have to continue in our walk and our path, and sometimes the things and challenges that come into our life are meant to grow us, not hinder us. They're meant to grow us, open our eyes. And sometimes you will go through something, if you have a blockage that you're not seeing, that the universe, your higher self, wants you to see, you might go through something, and then you're going to be like, wow, I didn't realize that, or okay, now I know why I went through that, because I needed to see a different perspective so that I can be more understanding, or I can come along and help somebody, and I can understand that it happens. Okay, because we get very judgy in the world. We get very like, oh, I didn't like they're doing that. That doesn't seem very blah, 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 blah. and we're quick to talk, but then when it happens to us, sometimes we're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I didn't realize, because I had never experienced it. I had never been in their shoes. I'd never been through their situation. I never have been put in that world. And we all have to be understanding, and we all have to be open to listen, not react. And we definitely need to stop hurting each other. You need to stop listening to the media. And we definitely need to stop hurting each other, because when we're divided, the powers that be can conquer us. We are all united energetically, collectively, from China, India, England, America, Taiwan. We're all connected. All of us. So when we hurt one another, we're just hurting ourselves. Remember that. Stop hurting people. Stop trying to be better than somebody else. Just be a good human being. Stop trying to step on people to fill your ego and make you feel better and puffed up, because it really isn't going to make you better. And you're going to hurt somebody, which is going to, in turn, the energy will flow back to you. Kind of like the karma thing. What you put out, you get tenfold back. So if you're going to be a poop head, you're going to get poop back. If you're a good person and you're trying to be good to this society, you're going to get good stuff back. All right. So what is the collective needing to hear right now? Balance still. Wow. We're definitely dealing with some imbalances right now. This is like days on end that we've been getting this card. I can't. And the devil card came out. Well, that one fell off. This is the Temperance card. You see how her toes are in the water, and then she's pouring water between the two cups. It's a balance between your physical and what you can see world and your emotional world. It's finding balance for you. It's not being anybody else's balance. It's your world being in balance. She's listening to the knowledge coming in. She's got her feet and on both the water and the earth, so she's trying to be grounded. You got the sun, and she's pouring between the two cups, and it's finding that balance between your emotional world, your physical world. It's temperance. It's balance across the board. Anything else that the collective needs to be? Ooh, that's a lot. Let's see. We're going to try that again. Do you have anything else? All right. The other one that came out is 9 of Wands. I'm not surprised. This is like, don't give up. The battle's almost done. You're almost there. Don't give up. So if any of you are struggling and you've been through it, it's coming. Just be patient. You're almost there. You got your temperance. Find the balance. Figure out I think what it is figure out what's causing the imbalance and causing you to get farther away from this feeling like you just want to give up. You have been through stuff. It's like I keep saying, it's been about 5 to 10 years. It's been a rough chunk of time between the changes of life, the internets, and you've got AI coming in, you've got job changes, you've got in physical environment with the COVID, you had different energies coming in, different philosophies, different people in political ways. Job markets were affected terribly. Interest rates went through the roof. So there's a lot of people physically or mentally in their physical world or their physical body that have been going through battles. There's been a lot of cancers and things that have come from possibly the shots, from environmental things, from toxins that are out in the world, things that we didn't realize were dangerous. We're dealing with it and we're trying to change. There's a lot of people going natural. There's a lot of people trying to become debt free because they're realizing that this one thing, whatever it might be for you, it could be a couple things. There are things in our life that we had to readjust because we cannot live like we used to, because the energy is now in air. It is not in the pentacles, which is earth, grounded, security. It's in a very open, free, different energy. So we're changing jobs, changing mates, changing what we want, because the energy that comes in while you're under air energy is going to make you totally feel different than earth energy. It's going to motivate you differently. It's going to present differently. It's going to be a different thing. And what's happening is in these last 5 to 10 years, that energy came in right about when Donald Trump was finishing office, which was before COVID-19, 20. But building up to it, the energy was starting to present itself. That's why you had all those riots, you had all those things. We've spoke about this on the channel before. But as we came into this new energy, we are now kind of like fully embracing the old energy is fading away. It's not gone. It's fading away, where it's becoming in the past. A lot of people died and passed away because they are being reborn or entered into a new frequency, a new energy, because we went from 3D only, where people can move up to 4 and 5D, and we moved through the Milky Way instead of being above the Milky Way. We are moving in our environment, which is also affecting us for how things hit us, the planetary alignments, all this stuff. You had major, after it's been like 250 300 years since certain planets have come back into the rotation. Some of them take like 200 or 300 years to rotate. Well, now they've come back, and there was a whole bunch of them all conglomerated in the same area, which made an effect, because everything around you affects you. Everything. The planets, the stars, the sun, the people, the internal stuff, the energies that are around you, the ley lines, it all affects you, because we are energy beings. So all the things around you affect you. I'm not saying that it's going to tell your future, but if you look at a horoscope, or you learn about numerology, or you learn about planetary alignments, like certain alignments, if there's more than 5 or 6 planets, you're going to have earthquakes, because it's just part of science. And it also will affect you, because each of those planets kind of have a little bit of effect in certain parts in your life. Now, you might want to deny it, and that's okay, but if you really read into it and you look at it with an open mind, it's pretty accurate, especially like the astrological stuff. They've been studying this stuff for thousands and thousands of years. And I learned astrology through watching people, because I feel that was the most accurate. And then I sometimes ask them their different like rising suns. I learned about that later. But your sun sign is pretty accurate for the core of who you are, not your day-to-day things, but the core of who you are, how you run, how you think, how you act, like how it's going to affect you. And it's kind of interesting to learn. So maybe somebody out there, if you want to learn about astrology, it's pretty cool. And it's planetary, it's science, and it's, you know, it just shows, and you can choose to believe it or not. It doesn't change that if it's right or wrong. You either believe it or you don't. So that's the part of the message that's also coming through. It doesn't matter if you believe it or not. It doesn't make it true or not true. It's the perspective of the person that's thinking it. Because when we get done, we don't know what's right, wrong, true, false, whatever, until we leave and we go into an ethereal body. We don't know. So we go by our gut instincts. We go by our intuition. We go by what we feel. We go by resonating. Means that you feel, yeah, I really think it's resonating with you. It's connecting with you. That's what they mean by resonating. So if something resonates with you, you can connect with it. You can get on board with it. Yeah, that's what I feel. It doesn't mean it's right. It doesn't mean it's wrong. Like I sell crystals. And this is an example. The guy said to me, "Oh, well, what if I don't believe they work? Then they won't work." I said, your mind is just as powerful as the crystals that you hold in your hand. The crystals are here. I think they're beautiful. I said, they can be used with intention, but if you don't believe they don't work, it probably won't work for you. But that doesn't mean that they don't work. It just means that you don't believe it, and you don't turn them on, and you don't activate them. And it doesn't matter if you believe or not. I still sell them, and I still tell people what they're good for. He's like, "Oh, well, that's a good perspective." And I was like, "Well, okay, yeah, I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing because you don't believe. I do what I do. I do what makes me happy." And your mind and your belief are also the biggest tools to creating the life, the world, the understanding. Because I've used this before. The Never-Ending Story was talking about the nothingness, because the nothingness was the unbelief, is not believing in anything, and or not believing in the magic. If you don't believe that you can do something, you're not going to be able to do it. It's belief. You have to connect the conduit in your brain of belief, because that's what connects you to God, to the ethereal, to the magic. I believe that magic is the energy of creation in a source. It's like source energy that's the burning, I don't know. I think it's one thing that's out there, and you either pull on it with good intention or you pull on it with bad intention. So everybody has access to the power of magic, the power of intuition, the power of whatever it is. I feel that all of it comes from a source, which could be creator source. I don't know. I'm just saying what I feel. And then what you choose to do with it is how it becomes good or bad. Like I use my cards. Now, if you were a fortune teller or you were trying to get business or information from people that wasn't your business, I don't do readings for people unless they give me permission to speak to their guides. When you go and you read and you don't ask for permission, you're asking information that's none of your business. That's where you go into the demonic side, because you're not respecting someone's privacy. But if you go and you talk to somebody and they say, yeah, they want to do the reading, you are connecting because they want help. They want connection. They're saying, yes, I want you to help me. And I think the reason I can read cards and I respect it and it's light is because I'm connecting to the higher source. I'm connecting because I want to help people. I'm not connecting because I want to know their business or want to know what they're doing or being nosy. So when I connect to them, my cards aren't what does it. My cards are just a tool that's used to facilitate the messages from the spirits and my guides that connect with me. And then my cards show, because they can't speak to me yet. I can't hear them. I see images, but I can't talk to them yet. So, like I said, it's my perspective. Now, that could be totally false, but that's what I believe. It doesn't change. And you might believe a certain thing, and I go, oh, I don't think that. I don't know why they're thinking like that. That doesn't mean it's wrong. It doesn't mean that it's not right. It just means that I don't resonate and I don't agree with it. I don't know. That's for somebody. Sorry. Believe what you believe. Be grounded in what you believe. Be sure of what you agree, what you think. Because I think what happens is, like I said, I was raised in the church. And when he talked about in the Bible, he said, you need to be hot or cold. You either are, no lukewarm. You either believe what you're saying or you don't believe what you're saying. And I think that's really true. You need to be authentic. When you say you believe something, you better be able to stand up for it, die for it, whatever. They had that adage of, if you go and somebody says, oh, denounce your God or I'm going to kill you. Well, I guess I'm going to kill because I'm not denouncing my God. I believe what I believe, and I guess you're going to have to kill me, or God's going to show his power through me believing, because I'm steadfast on what I believe. I don't try to tell you how you're supposed to believe, but I know what I believe, and I know what God has shown me, and I don't think God is like what everybody else believes in. I have a different relationship with him. It doesn't change my truth, but I look at God in a different way. I think that everybody, like I said, has a piece of the pie. I don't think one person has it all right. I think you have to believe, you have to practice your faith, you have to be what you feel is right, because I think everybody can love God, be correct, because everybody grows, learns, and is filled a different way. Not everybody can like practice the same way, So the last card that you have out is the Moon in reverse, which means illusions are being lifted. So don't get yourself balanced. You're almost there, because the illusions or the things that have been hidden are coming to be shown. So I think what they're saying is just be ready. And at the bottom of the deck, you have the Death card. Yeah, rebirth. So don't worry. You're almost there. You're becoming a new creature. The rebirth and death of old things is happening. But what it's saying is find your balance. Find where you're at. Get things level. Be true, authentic to yourself. You're almost done. The battle's coming to an end. You're almost there. And the illusions or the things that were being hidden from you, or the things that misled you possibly, are going to be lifted. You're going to see the truth out of things. And this new rebirth is going to happen coming out of rest and recuperation. There is an imbalance in give and take, and working on something. Yeah, so I think that right now we just have some things that it's continuation, finding that balance within your life, not somebody else's life, finding your balance and seeing where it takes you. Let's see if we can get you an angel number. 603. So this is financial balance. Okay, so maybe they're talking about your finances, because that can be a big thing right now, especially with all the interest rates. I think if you have debt, maybe getting some of it under control, finding a plan of action, maybe getting a consolidation loan so you can just make one payment and know that it's going to be done. So financial balance. Also, if you spend a lot. Sometimes we got very comfortable. You might have changed jobs. You might not be living the life that you lived before. Check your habits. This is a wake-up call from your angels. The flow of money reflects the flow of energy. Your angels want you to feel secure and balanced in your state of mind, and your finances contribute to that. Take time today to get real about what is coming in to and going out of your banking account. Make an organizational changes you can to provide the flow. Yeah, I think that what they're talking about is, and it's true, if you can't pay your bills, I'm sure people get a little upset. When you have financial problems, it gets in the way of your relationships. Oh, so what I would say is get your stuff together, figure out, I feel like this one is finances. So if you're going through some financial upheavals, or maybe you don't have a lot, or you're trying to restructure the things that you're doing, just be logical. Look at your spending habits, look at your banking account, look at the things you're doing, and know that things that are getting in the way, or what you're not sure of, is going to be illuminated. There could be things that maybe you're being taken advantage of, or you deserve a raise, or whatever. There's something coming in that's been hidden that's going to be illuminated for you, so that you can see, and it'll be a rebirth, because if you're living your life and doing things differently, you're going to have a different outcome. So I hope that this helped you guys. We're going to do one last card to give you a little finishing mantra. We'll see. All right, solitude. This is your finishing card. The ocean edge brings with it solitude and peace. Find a place away from all the noise and allow yourself to be quiet. Take in the stillness. Let your mind receive the messages that are carried in the wind. And I think this is the finishing card, because I feel like the illusions might be lifted when you can be quiet and get your own downloads from the universe, from God, whoever, whatever you want to call it. I think that there needs to be some stillness and quietness to be able to ponder, to think, to create, to make a plan of action. So I think at this time, not that you have to be quiet forever, but like, I think a little stillness and quietness is needed to be able to say, okay, what do I need to do? How can I get there? And I don't think you can really focus when things are crazy busy or super noisy. So that is your angel messages and your messages from the guide. Find balance, be open, be genuine to yourself, be steadfast, love one another, get your finances in order. It will help you overall. You won't be stressing and hurting your body. You won't be worried. It might take a little time. It might take a plan of action, but you're going to get there. Guys, have a great day.